All right, yeah. Basically, I wanted to do a video series, a couple of videos, or however how many it takes really, to talk about something that's really, really passionate to my heart and really close to my soul in this life, which was basically talking about spiritual and mystical experiences. I've got a lot of kind of background in kind of shamanic understanding, shamanic awareness, shamanic kind of experiences tied into my psychosis. And before I got kind of my psychosis in the past, I was extremely into mysticism and spirituality and shamanism and things. So I wanted to do a video about my experiences and things that really fascinate and interest me about spirituality, shamanism, mysticism. And also, hopefully, those who agree, people I know, to also record them, pardon me, and also record them of their most kind of spiritual and mystical or shamanic experiences. I just term spiritual experiences to me because a spiritual experience to me is a recognition of something out there, something non-physical, kind of, a non-material experience, either an experience of, how important, that you have a soul, or an experience of recognizing an entity separate yourself, or recognizing an underlying reality from this underlying reality compared to the physical world, and really, so this is a very passionate thing to me. I do kind of I am a very spiritual person and have a lot of understanding and experiences in sort of shamanic phenomenon and things. So yeah, I would like to talk about that really. I think my sister's going to go. She's agreed to do an interview on it, and a few other people I hopefully should be able to get. I mean, I watched a video series a while ago. I typed in spiritual experiences onto YouTube, and I found this one where someone was interviewing a few people at a festival, and they were basically saying one guy was saying the most spiritual experience he's ever had was the recognition that he's the only thing that matters in the universe, and the world revolves around him. And even though that may sound like a kind of quite, self-centered kind of perspective, to him, in so many ways, that was a massive realization that the world comes from his own senses, and he has to be the ruler of his own destiny. And in a sense, it's his universe to explore and his reality. And I thought that was quite a weird kind of, not a weird, but a kind of different take on things. Because a lot about spiritual experiences, a lot of people talk about, the oneness, recognizing the world outside of yourself. But this guy was really kind of like saying he realized the world was all around him, and he is the master of his reality, and he's the most significant thing. And so I find people's experiences of kind of, really amazing dreams people have that are very spiritual and soulful and heartfelt. It doesn't even have to even come to the term spirituality, because that has its own bad prejudices and dogma attached to it. But kind of, metaphysical experiences in dreams, or lucid dreaming, or recognition of having experience in a dream where you're meeting someone, or someone having a communications from a spirit guide, or from an angel, or from a god or deity, or even a demon, or something non-physical. I find these experiences extremely fascinating, and I wanted to do a video series on that really. So yeah, I'm going to call this series Spiritual Experiences, and kind of have a subtitle of kind of mystical and shamanic stuff. But yeah, so yeah, I'll begin. I've had a lot of experiences in my time which blew my mind away on many levels. Some were induced by certain drugs and things, which I have suffered since for, because it unbalanced my brain chemistry. But I won't deny that some of the experiences I've had that have opened my mind massively were induced with certain other substances which aided that transformation of mindset. And I will go back to like most tribes around the whole planet throughout all of history have used some form of other substance to reach higher states of consciousness, or aid in their understanding and awareness of the world. But I personally do not advocate taking any other substance really. To be honest, the best way that I discovered afterwards was finding just finding spiritual experiences and mystical and serenity and bliss through meditation, or maybe fasting and cleansing the body, and having a really healthy diet and doing, meditations, spiritual development. That is the most safest, stable way to access the kind of spiritual Godhead, the mindset, the mystical plane. Do you know what I mean? That is the safest, best way. And I wouldn't advocate people to kind of, a lot of people in the West to get into spirituality. A lot of it's through certain experiences on drugs and things. And that was partly true for me. But I would not advocate that to anyone else. I'll be very careful of what you're doing. And if you do want to connect to the spiritual realms and have mystical experiences, then I would definitely recommend that meditation, spiritual practices of different forms, chanting, fasting and purification, contacting, the angels and spirits, and working with different therapies. I think that's the safest, most stable way of accessing. So I'll just say that. But yeah, so if I go into some of my experiences, I remember one thing that happened when I was 17, and this is quite a mystical experience for me, and it was really weird because it was so real, and I know it's real. A kind of shamanic understanding would understand that. But I go to Norfolk every year with my family, and we stay on a beach, on a campsite next to a beach, and there's quite a few of us there. And when I was 17, I remember just in the day, well, this was probably after being there for about a week or something. In the day, I remember really embracing the sea and the powers and the power of the sea, and trying to understand the entities and things that exist out within the sea, the spiritual entities, the conscious entities that exist within the sea and around the sea. And so that was happening. Anyway, in the night, I was kipping on a safari bed next to the caravan at night time, and I kind of woke up in a cold sweat, and I was feeling all weird, and I went to the toilet, the campsite toilets, and I walked back, and it was a really weird kind of feeling, because there's not a town for probably about 15 miles, and the night is so dark, and the stars are so powerful, it almost feels like you're on the edge of the world sort of thing, edge of the planet's atmosphere, and you just see so far into the stars. I remember feeling quite freaked out. So anyway, I went back to bed, on the safari bed, and then I just had this really powerful experience of being taken away, that this entity that exists over the sea was trying to steal me, basically, steal my soul, or take me away. And I remember feeling outside of my body. It was definitely an out-of-body experience. And I remember being taken by something not very respectful, something that wanted to take me away somehow. I don't know how it was going to. But I remember feeling out of my body and above the campsite, but out towards the sea. And I remember drifting off, being carried by this kind of like force, this deity or something. And I just remember going, no, no. And I remember feeling no. And then all of a sudden I woke up in my body, and I was back in. I was sweating all over and things, and it was really like a cold sweat, and it was a really powerful experience. And so when I got back, I was looking up kind of like, kind of mythology about kind of people being taken away and things. And I really kind of, on a shamanic level, I really understand how that can be a real thing. How sort of deities or spiritual entities. What I mean by spiritual, I mean things that are non-physical to us. So a kind of, an entity, a conscious, separate being, that is separate from a human form and animal form and the form we can touch. And I've had a lot of experiences like that. So out-of-body experiences, I had quite a few. Another one I had, I think when I was 17 as well, I also have a big collection of crystals, all quite small ones, that's all I could afford. But they were lovely, and I had them on my table where I did my writing and things. And one night I just had the feeling to put them all in my bed with me, to lie down and sleep. I had my staff, my kind of my wooden staff with me, and I kind of lied in bed with that, and that I felt gave me a connection to the earth and the powers. And I put crystals all over underneath me and around me on my bed. So I kind of drifted off to sleep, kind of trying to hold in this kind of like energy kind of meditation prayer kind of symbol. And after falling asleep, after about 10 minutes, I drifted out of my body, and I was drifting out of my body and out towards the window, and I felt myself out. I knew I was out, and the same kind of thing can't happen to me again when I went kind of no. I remember waking up out of my body feeling really freaked out, and I was having a cold sweat again. And even though these weren't particularly like, you know, kind of life-changing events, they really solidified the reality of me that the ethereal body, the spirit body that exists within us, who we really are, can be separate from the physical body. And that is for anyone who's had really sincere out-of-body experiences, it's a very powerful thing when you realise, because, you know, so much opens up when you realise that we are ethereal beings, spirit beings that exist inside a physical body. And when you realise that, you realise the existence of, you know, of the afterlife, and how souls can get lost in the astral planes, and that there's many, to me, I understand there's many heavens and many heavenly planes, many realms, many kind of horrible realms as well, but generally the horrible realms are over exaggerated. Most of us, more or less all of us, are generally guided to what we need to learn and where we need to go, and will be helped through that in the long run. And some souls get lost on the way, but I know at the end of time, or when the point comes, every soul is brought into the oneness again, and that's the way it goes. That's the way I feel. That's what I've seen in the vision as well. So yeah, I like to discuss a lot about kind of out-of-body experiences and things. Other times, I remember when I was fasting and just going on walks and stuff, I would felt really outside of my body, and I'd almost understand that I'd be watching myself from a very high point, from like above, outside of my aura, and look upon myself and all this sort of thing. And past life experiences, I've had a lot of memories of past lives, which I like to discuss further on, and I might do a separate video series on past lives. But yeah, so talking about that really, yeah, what was I saying? What else? I remember one time walking in my local woods, and I've been fasting and doing psychic awareness, psychic training, inner eye training, visualization, and I was fasting and meditating a lot, really well. And I remember walking through the woods in my local wood on my own, quite out of the way, and I just had this massive wave of this super powerful memory of being a Native American and in a Native American tribe. And it's like this kind of experience, this life, this memory brought back all these kind of feelings and memories. I remember walking through the trees, these conifer trees were on my left, and I was walking through, and I felt extremely elated, extremely kind of heightened awareness. And this memory of living in a Native American tribe and looking over the tribe and all the teepees and things, and these stories were coming to me, and thoughts from that life were coming to me about me having a partner, a wife in my tribe, and how I was practicing like as a holy man in the tribe and things. And it really powerful, and it really elated me. And the actual heightened serenity and memory of this experience must have lasted probably about, you know, kind of 20 seconds or about 30 seconds or something. But the kind of the energy that came to me has stayed with me since, and more past life memories and energies kind of has come into my field since. But then going back home and walking home was just almost like connecting to this other life, and I knew it was me who was there, but in a different form, in a different manifestation. And it was very powerful. I mean, I haven't had many specific memories about that since, but a lot of things come up, and ever since then I've had a massive connection to Native American stuff. I was already really into it, tribal mythology, tribal cultures, tribal philosophies on things, about being connected to the land. I think they're all vitally important, and having that memory of that life really came to me. So yeah, I'll end this video for now. I've got a lot more to say on this. Really interesting stuff, in my belief, my feeling, my experience about all these things. I find them fascinating, and I hope you've enjoyed them too. I'll talk a lot more about this, various things about spiritual experiences, and I hope that, you know, anyone feels driven to do a video response or make a comment. And to me, spiritual experiences just prove over and over and over again that there's more to the physical, our physical dimension, because there are physical dimensions in different frequencies, but just to us, you know, this is our physical dimension, and I love myself recognizing and seeing clearly that there is so much more than our physical world. And I think if we can do that and prove that to other people in our heartfelt experiences, then I think it opens the mind, it opens the doorway to beautiful things, more and more beautiful things in this world. So yeah, I'll stop it there, and I'll do some more in the future, and hopefully record some other people who are willing to talk about their experiences too. Alright, thanks, bye.